For folks that don't know, my wife passed away recently, and over a short but ferocious battle with cancer. And so she was the mayor of a town here called a city here called the Village. So we're doing a celebration of life, but it really and truly. So we got a funk band from the 70s. It's excellent. It's an outdoor venue. It's supposed to be 75 degrees. Couldn't ask for any more. And this is one of the series of parks that were new that she was integral and integral in starting.
Integral.
I can't get the word out, man. Can't
Integral.
get the word out. She was important in getting it started. So when Cathy originally got on city council, she'd already run for lieutenant governor, so she was used to some bigger issues. And so she redid she was the one who pushed forward to redo all of the parks in the Village. I don't want to take anything away from the other members that voted for it. You know what I mean? And I'll tell you the irony of all this here in a couple of minutes. So they got a bond passed. They did all these parks, sidewalks, streets, all this stuff. So the city goes up. Housing prices, I don't know what you were paying for rent when you were in the Village, but it was nothing like what anybody's getting now.
Oh, yeah. I did speak to the old person that owned the house that I used to stay in, and it's almost twice the amount I used to pay, Sean.
Yeah, right. And that's the whole Village. So her actions paid off. And so we're doing this in one of the parks that she helped build. And it's a big 4-block stretch, which for our small city with a lot of people, that's pretty good. So, open up with some bagpipers and her favorite preacher, and then we go to the funk band, and then we've got barbecue. And then what we did is there's so many people with dietary restrictions. The easy way around it, ask them to bring a side dish.
Oh, yeah.
And that way they bring a side dish they can eat. And then it's not because if they're standing up there and there's 1,000 people or 1,500 or more, and you're like, I am gluten-free and I am lactose intolerant. And no one, it isn't that no one cares. They don't have time to do that. We're going to
Sean, what I usually say, this is not the time, neither the place for these requests.
Right. But, let those folks know that that's the case, and they will strike at your business. So it is, so it should be a lot of fun. And the deal is, it's not supposed to be a sad thing. We did the funeral and everything already. We did all the formalities. And now it should just be fun and celebrating stuff that she built and everything else. But we're getting down to the nitty gritty. We got a few days to go, but it'll be fun. Just a big old outdoor picnic, which, if you're in England or somewhere like that, you don't really have picnics because your weather sucks. But ours will be very nice. So it'll be a picnic. Do you guys picnic over in India or no?
I think some people do. Not.
Yeah. And don't say street food is picnicking. That is not the same thing.
Come on.
Not the same. It really is the same thing, though, isn't it?
It's just that
you buy it, you eat it there.
No.
So anyway, that's coming together, and that's our last big blowout thing. But it should be pretty interesting. I will tell you this: I have a full 40-minute comedy routine on this whole thing, but it's too early, if you know what I mean.
I know.
Too soon. When you make a joke and somebody's whoa, too soon, too. Yeah, I'm in that space right now. But maybe a few months from now, be it in India or be it here, I've got a solid 20 minutes, hard 10 minutes, possible stretch to 30 or 40 if you've got the right house.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Dude, it's been a crack out.
Yeah, but that's going to be fun.
Yeah. So, and I'm fielding, 10, 15 calls a day of literally chefs going, hey, what can I do? And I'm like, I didn't organize this one. I did the one in the other city. So here's who's in charge. I'm not trying to blow you off or be disrespectful, because I don't want to be. Everybody wants to be involved. But
yeah,
she was a uniquely fun individual. So, yeah, I mean, that's it is, dude, I have some of the funniest stories. I just can't tell them yet.
Do you know, the weird part was I was looking through something and back in 2010 when I first met you, there's a picture of the three of us. And then I think I left for some time and I came back in 2014 and there's another picture. And in 2017, no, 2016, there's another picture. And I was like, oh my God. Yeah. I think every time I just showed up, I was like, okay, Sean, Cathy, picture.
Yeah, it's the obligatory picture. And she looked good in all of them. And I looked like I aged 10 years per photo.
No, she looks, can I tell you, she looks the same. The two of us seem to be just the aging as the pictures
aging around her. So we're like the aging framework of her life. Yeah, it is. What I would say out of the whole thing is this: if you're going to go out, this is a great way to go out. So we did, without making fun of anything, we did basically an Italian funeral. God, I almost just said wedding, because Irish funerals and weddings are the same. There's just one less person drinking. And it's probably important to cover that. So for those of you who don't know what an Irish wedding or funeral is, Google it. And I will eventually talk about it in detail here, but I'll get into some of it today. So the Italians are kind of more serious about it. So you do a wake and you do a Catholic mass, and assuming everybody's Catholic, which, those two cultures, you got a 95% shot. And then it's all taken fairly serious, and and then you have a formal luncheon, like a wedding. It was a nice buffet. All of the food was delicious. How many times do you hear that at a wedding or a funeral? I mean, it was all delicious. So then we had the other after party. So that was the Irish version. And after 12 hours into the day, I decided to go home before anything bad happened. And I have no idea how long everybody kept drinking, but I'm sure another 5 or 6 hours.
Oh, yeah.
And so if you've never been to one and you can get invited to one, you should go. And I would say for either the Italian or the Irish, we just had to do both. And man, what a bash. And so this one will have loads more people, but it's more of a, come and go. You just kind of go, hey, glad you're here. And then everybody heads out. And yeah. It was a good time. I really do mean it, and she would have been happy with it. That's the big part. My wife's last name was Bradley. It's not the most Italian last name. That would hint Irishness to almost everybody. But she was only a small piece Irish, so quintessentially Italian. But it was fun. I mean, honest to God, I had a good time, and there was no drama. So we roll into what's called the Northeast, which is the Italian area of Kansas City, and my hometown. And for any of you who have seen the Godfather movie, they make a reference to my friends from Kansas City are here.
Yep,
they're not exaggerating. So we're in the Northeast end, and it's the church is about half Irish, half Italian, and my cousin does the mass. He's a priest, of course.
Yeah.
And it was good, man. I did have people ask me, to live stream, and I'm like, I'm a little busy. Just that one time, just a little bit.
Yeah.
The church was so old, they didn't have any capabilities, because that probably would have gotten a fair amount of viewers for people interested in religious stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Considering Italian and Irish, like there must have been so many Catholics in that room. That's like,
oh my God,
walking into an Irish church and being like, has anybody lost Mary? There are probably 10 hands that go up.
Right. So it was honest to God, it was great. And this weekend should be great. And then you got to figure out a way to fill that void. I mean, truthfully, I don't want to bring anybody down, but you go, hey man, I've been caretaking for about 6 months, and she did the same thing for me. So don't be giving me any applause. I wasn't anything special. I did the same stuff she did for me. But now your schedule opens up. And I think I fixed 4 or 5 things at my house yesterday that needed fixing like a year ago. Just go. It's just a little drill and a screw over here, and that window does not look like it's coming off of the house. So we're getting there. Garage doors, my one today. So I've been heater, blower, fan, thermostat. Us Irish find humor in the darkest places, and that is our skill. But it's also deeply inappropriate. Deeply inappropriate. And that's how you know you're not actually British or something else, because you would find the same humor and the same stuff. So yeah. It was awesome. She would have been thrilled to death. I mean, but the weather was shit. I mean, it was blustering snow and wind.
Oh God.
Oh yeah. And the week before it was 70, and this week it'll be 70 again. I guess she was just reminding us. Yeah. Isn't that crazy? No more emotion for you this morning, Deepak. You don't have to do it.
I know. Now the face goes back to normal.
There you go, buddy.